Hello everyone and welcome back. I hope that you all found the sessions this morning informative and inspiring. My name is Joel Rose and I'm the Chief Executive of Cardiomyopathy UK. Before we break off into our afternoon sessions, I want to spend just a few minutes talking about the impact that COVID-19 pandemic has had on our community and what I think is the remarkable resilience we have shown over this incredibly challenging time. We know that the pandemic has impacted people affected by cardiomyopathy in different ways. No two people have had exactly the same experience, but it's fair to say that most people have felt a great deal of fear and uncertainty about how COVID will impact on their condition, about their own vulnerability, and about access to vaccines. We've seen an increase in people feeling isolated. Cardiomyopathy can be an isolating condition at the best of times, but this isolation has been greatly exacerbated by the pandemic. Of course, the pandemic has seen regular appointments cancelled, delayed, or moved online. It's been more difficult to access treatment, and people have felt fearful of going into hospital or seeking help when symptoms have got worse. We also saw how many people with cardiomyopathy face more practical problems, especially in relation to employment and accessing benefits. It goes without saying that the pandemic has had a massive impact on the NHS and on healthcare professionals. Resources and staff have been redirected, demand has increased, and there's been a significant reduction on learning opportunities for clinicians. This is their chance to improve their own ability to detect and treat cardiomyopathy. For the charity, the challenge has been to meet increased demand, especially on our helpline, while at the same time trying to reconfigure our services, such as the popular support group structure, national conference, so that those could be moved online. All of this at a time when our fundraising income, raised by our community through challenge events, bake sales, coffee mornings, and much more, has been curtailed due to pandemic restrictions. Of course, the pandemic has also impacted other key stakeholders and the groups we work with to ultimately get a better deal for people affected by cardiomyopathy. Research activity has been reduced and funding redeployed, access to subjects limited, drug development and approval has stalled, government attention has been focused elsewhere, so changes and improvements to NHS structures have been delayed. And wider society hasn't been able to think about other healthcare messages, making our awareness work more challenging. So how have we been able to meet these challenges? Well, we've been able to adapt our support and information services to manage the 300% increase in service usage that we saw at the start of the pandemic. We moved support group meetings online and started a new coffee and catch-up social meeting to help ensure that we could continue to offer peer support and help people feel less isolated. We were able to give regular COVID updates for people with cardiomyopathy, create new resources and make them more accessible through our updated website. We were also able to give specialist advice to people who were facing employment issues due to their need to work from home. We made sure we were better connected to cardiomyopathy clinics around the country, and this meant that more clinicians have been referring their patients to our support services in order to manage their workload and make sure their patient needs are met. I was really pleased that our recent survey showed that 91% of service users found our adapted services either important or very important to them at this time. Since the start of the pandemic, we've also worked closely with healthcare professionals, bringing cardiomyopathy experts together to share feedback from patients and provide a forum for them to discuss how their services can best support people during the pandemic. We recently launched our new online learning platform for healthcare professionals, creating really valuable educational content so that we can continue in our mission to raise the level of knowledge of cardiomyopathy among healthcare professionals. At the end of last year, we also launched our Changemaker project so that we could do more to play our part in reshaping NHS services for people with cardiomyopathy so that their needs are better met. I think that it's fair to say that while the pandemic has obviously had a hugely negative impact in so many ways, as a charity, we've also seen some new opportunities present themselves. By moving more of our services online, we've reached many more people who previously maybe felt unable to attend a meeting in person or just felt it wasn't for them. We also took the opportunity to connect with cardiomyopathy groups around the world to share resources and approaches and create an international network of charities that will help amplify the cardiomyopathy voice. Over the last year, we've also done a huge amount to upgrade our research and advocacy work, bringing in new resources to strengthen these important areas of activity. What I think is really important to note here is that we've been able to do all of these things because of the strength of our community, because of your resilience. Support group leaders who adapted so quickly to running online meetings, peer support volunteers who stepped up when needed, individuals signing up to be change makers, our youth panel who stuck with us, and fundraisers who embraced the ridiculous challenge of virtual marathons and online quizzes. None of this could have been achieved without them. So where are we now and what's the way forward? Well, there are some things we don't know. The pandemic is ongoing and it's hard to predict how it will continue to impact us all. But we've proven our resilience, and so I think that it's right that the charity plans ahead with confidence. In the coming year, we want to focus on growing our community. We know that more people than ever before have come to the charity to use our services. We want to make sure that we can continue welcoming more people who need us, and in particular, people from communities that in the past we struggled to reach. We want to continue to be adaptable and ambitious. We need to make sure that our services meet people's changing needs, that whatever is going on in the outside world, we can continue to make people feel less scared, more in control, and better able to cope with cardiomyopathy day to day. We want to continue to strengthen our voice. We're going to be expanding our advocacy work, bringing on more volunteer change makers, and ensuring that we have a meaningful presence in the organisations and structures that shape the services that people with cardiomyopathy use. We also want to do more to provide the patient insight needed to shape clinical research and encourage researchers to focus on cardiomyopathy. At the same time, we're going to be undertaking our own research on the experience and needs of people with cardiomyopathy to direct and underpin our own advocacy work, our services, and our broader organisational strategy. Ultimately, we'll continue to bring together the key partners. I strongly believe that when we bring together people affected by cardiomyopathy, healthcare professionals, researchers, drug developers, government and society, we can do so much more to improve the world of cardiomyopathy. So if you want to know more about our work and plans for the future, then do please get in touch. And I just want to finish by saying thank you again to all of the volunteers, fundraisers, healthcare professionals, donors, trustees, staff who've been so incredibly supportive over the last year. It's their strength and resilience that have given us the resilience to make sure that we can continue to be there for anyone who needs us. Thank you.